bought the Crown Vic from that guy over there?
Yep.
One that... No further question. I'll beat my head against the table.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I do, Your Honor. Mr. Priest.
May I proceed?
So the prosecutor said that there was another Polito unit that was running radar and observed you driving around. Do you remember seeing more than one Polito officer on scene?
Yeah.
Alright, and can you point them out in the courtroom?
Objection, Your Honor.
How am I supposed to know what they look like when they're in their squad?
You didn't...
Your Honor, with respect, you have to hear the argument.
No, continue.
Okay, so can you point those Polito officers out in the courtroom?
How am I supposed to know what the officers look like when they're in their squad dark tinted windows? Answer me that one.
Well, during the situation, and I'm on your side, so don't get aggressive with me. The questions I'm asking are going to help you out, so it would behoove you to answer them.
Okay, let me stand up and point.
Alright, so if you would, point those officers out to me. No, the Polito Bay officers, the city police officers, not any deputies, not any state troopers. You can stay on the stand, you don't have to point them out. Like, just point them out on the stand. I'm a public defense attorney, sir. I am not a Polito Bay City police officer. And that looks like a Los Santos police officer. That looks like a DA. That doesn't look like a Polito Bay police officer. If you would have...
And there's no Polito Bay in here.
Okay, so have a seat back on the stand.
Your Honor, can we have a bailiff ask the gentleman behind us to sit down in a chair?
Yes. Well, can you please go handle that?
Excuse me, bud. I need you to go sit down somewhere either in the back, but you cannot be on this side near
He's...
this.
Hey, bailiff,
Why can't I?
he's probably trying to listen because all the way in the back he might not be able to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't hear anything you guys are saying.
Shift H. Shift H.
Shift H to S at the bottom left. It'll change it.
Okay.
Just click shift.
Then stand on the other side, please.
Okay.
Not in the back, but just be on the left side.
What's it mean to press S? Or what's it mean to press Shift H?
It changes your voice. Press Shift H, and it'll change the voice thing in the bottom left.
Does it make things louder?
Yep.
Should I go to the restroom? My character's real good.
No.
Well, then I'm gonna be myself over here.
No further questions.
So, are there no questions from either side left? Then it may go sit back down. There are no further questions. What about that?
None this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Priest, Mr. Priest, come and sit down over here. Your Honor, like I said, Fifth Amendment, if we could have that last comment striked from the record.
Your Honor, if we can keep that comment in the record.
It's self-incrimination. It's a violation. It's a violation of the Fifth Amendment, Your Honor.
Using
Yes,
for
you're right,
anything
not
you said is in
self-incriminate.
record.
He's under oath.
He is under oath, and he has a right to not self-incriminate, but he chose to. Okay, noted.
You can't self-incriminate yourself, Your Honor. That is in the Fifth Amendment in the U.S. Constitution. I don't think you're above that. And I don't think anybody else in this courtroom is above that.
Your Honor,
I mean, he chose to speak those words.
Spontaneous utterance. It's first of all, I don't think the bailiff or another security officer has any right to be speaking in these proceedings. It's only the DA and the judge.
Your Honor, I think we should get control in the courtroom.
I do agree. Any more outbursts, people will be sent out of the room or held in contempt of court. Do we understand?
Your Honor.
But to the defendant's lawyer, he did say what he had said under oath. He was not coached, he was not forced or anything of the such.
Your Honor, nobody was saying that, but my defendant has the Fifth Amendment right to not self-incriminate themselves.
Where the fuck's my
Wow, I've never seen a bailiff go up to the judge up on the stand during proceedings before.
Right?
Bailiff, may you please step down?
And furthermore, that comment had something to do with another case that wasn't involved in this one.
Under that pretense where you are right, we will throw that out. It has nothing to do with this case at all.
Mr. Frank, please sit down.
Did he just pull a flare gun out of his pocket?
It was a fire extinguisher. Mr. Frank, please sit down.
May I stand?
No, sit down.
My butt hurts.
No, you may not.
Your Honor.
Sir, sit down, or the next time you have an outburst, you will be held in contempt of court.
Ooh, I'm so
Sir,
scared.
do me a
I
favor.
can
Go ahead and
fly
sit down in that
now.
chair right there.
Are you talking to me?
What are you gonna do? I'm listening.
Oh, I thought you were him. I'm sorry. Ignore everything that just happened. I thought that was him.
I'm pretty sure all that ink on your arm is getting to your head.
Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's me.
What are those two people doing?
I have nothing else further, Your Honor.
Officer.
Understood. Does the defendant's attorney have anything else to add?
Officer.
I would love...
Shut up back there.
Frank, shut up or you're going to be held in contempt. Stop. Let them deal with it.
Scares me.
I understand that, but let them deal with it.
I'm going to life anyways.
I would like to request the arresting officer to the stand.
Is the arresting officer here in court right now?
Your Honor, to be quite frank, the arresting officer was 301. He was the one that arrested the individual and put him in cuffs.
Actually, I don't think that Sergeant
You watch
Sergeant
the
Repo
video,
Studios...
1 hour, 23 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Objection, Your Honor. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whoever... Objection! It doesn't matter what officer. All officers...
Over me.
May the DA please not interrupt any further. I wish to hear this out.
Any state-mandated officer, it doesn't matter who puts the handcuffs on them. It's who takes the warrant out on them, and it is actually who does the report. Can I ask for the record on the court who the reporting officer was? Because that is the real question.
The reporting officer was 200.
So would 200
I don't believe
please
he's actually
walk...
here.
Okay, well then, apparently the arresting officer, who's the primary DA's witness, cannot come up to the stand to testify, I move that the case be dismissed.
Perfect. Dismissed.
I think you are way above your head, DA.
I
Gentlemen,
didn't
for the
sign up
safety
for
of
this
the
shit,
room,
so.
I'm asking, gentlemen, for the safety of the room, I'm asking you guys to keep the tone down. Like, full tone.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. Take him.
Hold him against the court.
Take
Over
him.
here.
Jesus.
You got it.
No! Shit.
You literally were about to get away.
Yeah, I literally got a case dismissed, and then you go and act like an idiot.
Oh no.
Your Honor, I would like to move to the motion that I remove myself as the DA for any further cases.
Motion approved.
I'll let 301 take it from there.
Hey, Colin, if you would, will you be the prosecutor for mine though? I'm not being the I'm not being involved with it, other than being the primary witness. Your Honor, due to
304 priority traffic.
what?
No.
I need EMS back here. Individual just ingested something. He's unconscious on the ground. CPR's in progress.
Oh my God.
Oh, for God's sake.
What?
Hey, revive him and send him to jail for at least like 15 minutes.
Holy freaking
No.
hell.
Let me get another character. Just go ahead and say this.
Whoa.
All right.
My fault. My fault.
Your Honor, I would like to motion that any further cases involving Mr. Frank Priest, due to his instability and his childish actions, if he could be excused from the courtroom, and the public defense attorney and the DA can then argue the case without him being present.
I will second that motion.
Hell, I
third it, honestly.
Okay. Thank God.
Okay, out of character real quick. He was about so fucking free. Like he was like
Well, not
right out the fucking door.
not necessarily, because there's still 3 other cases against him involving multiple
But
felonies.
I mean, on that one, he was about as free as it gets.
There's been a murder.
Yeah.
There's been a murder.
He was about as free as it gets.
What?
There's a
Oh
dead
yeah, Colin,
firefighter on
sorry
the steps
for
out
denying
front.
the motion. New to this, working on it. I'll learn over time. Yeah.
Holy Christ! What is going on? Your Honor, I would request that we get a mental evaluation for Mr. Frank Priest. I don't know how the public defender feels about that, but
Oh, I concur. Please. I'm anxious to see that report.
I don't know. Oh, where's the admin?
304 to units in the court. Do we want this individual detained, or are we cutting him loose?
I'll leave that to the public defender.
Are we gonna try him on his next 2 cases?
We are, but he's in jail for at least 10 minutes.
Okay, I can do that.
This should be just a regular AI.
No, it's what's his name that left? Oh shit!
Hey,
Peacetime.
out of character.
Yeah.
Good job. Hands down. What? The
304, I
he'll
got
disappear.
shots fired.
Disregard.
It's not hard
Yeah,
to
disregard.
defend a case or to argue a case defense-wise when I'm the only DA. I'm
True.
expecting you to go to public defender side and leave me basically SOL screwed over here.
I told you that I was leaving it up to Rogue who he wanted as a public defender.
Yeah, and somehow I got screwed on that one.
Yeah. Homeboy disappeared.
Yeah,
I don't know where he went.
he's in jail.
Oh, okay. You guys jailed him already.
Yes.
I didn't.
I did. for being an idiot.
I was going to try and find him to put him in jail. I'm like, I lost him. I don't know where he went. He just disappeared.
Oh, that was something else.
Yeah. Anyways, you're gonna have to do me a favor and sit down.
Why don't you go get another tattoo on that arm and go get some more hair cut off your head? Maybe shave while you're at it.
In all my years, I've never seen that happen.
So at the start, you have opening remarks, and really opening remarks are for the jury, and opening remarks goes from the DA to the defense attorney, and then you start out with calling witnesses. In between that, after remarks or whatnot, you can do motions, like motions to suppress and whatnot, but those are usually in separate hearings before the actual trial date. If we were actually following it to protocol, I would have motioned to suppress the initial stop to begin with, as it wasn't recorded on body cam or anything like that, the subject pulling somebody over.
Never say that the subject was pulling everybody over.
Right.
That the subject drove past a sheriff's deputy who was running radar.
Whoa.
In the report.
You said that he pulled past a Paleto Bay officer running radar.
No, I didn't.
That is exactly what you said.
It was Paleto Bay. It was known
Even
as
if it
Paleto
wasn't
Bay.
on body cam, you can still use the narrative of the report, and the police officer could testify against that.
Absolutely. You could, and I'm saying it's a motion, so the motion could obviously be denied. It's up to the judge to, either deny it or approve it. But being in a marked sheriff unit, that's already suspicious enough on a law enforcement standpoint. It's already RAS enough to that there isn't a unit that's out on duty right now in a Crown Vic, and then all of a sudden one rolls by. I mean, we get that. But saying that it was a Paleto Bay officer who saw him, it was like, who actually saw him? You did. That is exactly what you said.
No.
When you were as the DA just a minute ago, you said that a Paleto Bay officer was running radar and saw a marked sheriff unit.
I don't recall saying that, but sure.
Looking back at the tapes,
At the
that
end
is
of it,
what
I
was said.
said that he said he went to the PD or
It's the
Paleto Bay
recorder.
PD and got the uniforms and the car from there.
Well, yeah. That's a police department. That's not a
At the
sheriff's
beginning of
office.
Holy shite. Where's the alcohol? I'm done with this fucking DA bullshit. I quit. I'm not a district attorney. I'm just a fucking person
Alright.
that sits here and judges shit.
Yeah, he's my assistant.
Good God.
Who
I lost that case.
who wants to be the public defense attorney for the next cases?
I got it. Give me a second.
Oh boy. Here we
Okay,
go.
I'm down.
I'll be right back.
Good luck. You're gonna
Colin.
need it.
Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hope you accept my apology on that. I really
No,
apologize.
you're
for
fine.
doing this first time.
You're fine.
Whenever the
Well, damn, I guess I can't object to that.
whenever the counselors will interject like that and they say objection, you have to hear the argument and then decide whether or not the argument is substantial enough in order to overrule or sustain it.
And of course,
And if-
Box Repo's over here just giggling, I'm sure, when he hears denied. It's like, good.
And I tried to be like, Your Honor, you have to hear the argument.
Well, yeah, as I said, I'm new to this. It'll be a learning process over time, but it's something that I like to do.
Yeah, you're good. Hey, Mr. SWAT man, are you RTT certified?
Mr. SWAT.
I don't.
I'm just security, bro.
Oh Jesus, you're halfway put together.
I look thick
I'm
as
half
fuck.
surprised
Though.
that
Wait, no.
I'm half surprised
not
that
mine.
the LSPD officer didn't show up in like a cowboy outfit again.
Hey,
That's
hey,
not mine
that's
too.
only in Sandy Shores.
Oh, alright, my bad.
He might be a deputy here pretty soon.
Oh,
God.
I look like a thick motherfucker. though. Thick with 3
Before we
C's.
continue, can I get reference material for case at hand?
no.
If you go into your
MDT.
if you go into your MDT and search up Frank Priest, you should be able to see the arrest history and the case numbers.
Guys, it's
Page
been a hot minute.
page down. It'll open up your tablet.
Okay.
Click
Give me
the
a moment,
Zafra.
right
Do I
button.
use that for card?
SAFR CAD.
Oh. Yeah, I'm clicking it. It's not popping up.
Give it a minute.
Do I look like a
Okay.
better cop now?
You look like a
sign
professional
in?
cop. Yes, sign in.
Oh.
I look like a thick ass motherfucker before though.
Are you drinking
I
tonight?
look like that.
I think
No,
he
I'm
is.
not.
Your Honor, can we
It-
get
I think
a sobriety check
I
on,
think it would be
Officer
better if
304?
you were. Jesus.
Like,
What is up with you constantly calling yourself a thick motherfucker?
because I look so much better in game than I did in real life. And anytime I put a uniform on, I'm like, why can't I go to the gym and
Your
look
Honor,
like this?
Can we get a mental evaluation on Officer 304?
Objection. No grounds.
Bailiff.
No grounds to even get a mental evaluation on him. But yes, you are the bailiff now. I hope you know that.
Great.
So
Alright,
you
where do I go from here now?
you would actually sit down over there. Go to people search after you start patrol. Did you start the patrol?
I have Rocket Cam launched in my things.
Okay, so once you start on and you go on patrol, where you see like active and
Yep.
stuff like that, and you see everything on the left, go to search.
Yep.
Click on
Right.
people at the top. Yep. And then type in Frank Priest and select that. Once you do, it'll bring up his information, and you scroll down to arrest history, you'll see cases.
Yep. Which one are we on now?
I don't know, that's up to the judge.
What was that?
Your Honor, what case would we like to?
Next one will be 91. We're going in order from 89 through 93. So 89,
Okay.
then 91, 92, 93.
Well, 92 has nothing on it.
Yes, it does if you click on it.
Oh, okay. I'm done.
I wasn't gonna say it. 91 is where we'll pick up at.
So, highlight off of that case number 92. I submitted a supplemental narrative that you said you couldn't find.
We'll just subpoena you as a witness.
Yep.
Okay, alright. Wanna see what we're doing for that? Because I still have all of the individuals' money and all that shit on me.
I am
so-
back.
Oh, Phoebe,
Your
no.
Honor, Your Honor, I'm requesting that Your Honor, I'm requesting that we have we forward the case due to Unit 200 not being on the premises.
What?
No, Unit 200 can be here.
Yeah, Unit 200 is here.
Alright, okay. Cool.
Jordan, could you go stand over in your spot? You're irritating me.
Amen to
I was
that.
just standing. Are we getting back to this?
Yes.
Circumstance at 200 is here.
Okay.
How much longer till he gets out of jail? I gotta pee.
What? Go pee then.
I gotta take a piss. Do I got time to go?
You're
Or I gotta hold
acting.
it?
You're acting just like him. You're about to go to jail next.
I'm just asking. Do I got
Okay,
time to
what
go
is-
take a
what is
piss, or do
going
I gotta
on?
wait?
You could have gone already.
The officer in contempt of court.
You were stood there standing around. You could have gone taking a piss.
Yeah.
Give me 60 seconds.
Make it 30.
We have 2 state troopers in the courtroom. We don't need him to proceed. Jesus.
No, I think we can proceed, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready to proceed.
Any opening statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Opening statements. Oh, sorry, I apologize.
Take it away.
Your Honor, on this date that's in particular to this report, during the course of this trial, we are going to find out that Mr. Frank Priest, who unfortunately is incarcerated due to his childish and juvenile behavior, which is furthermore just evidence of his erratic behavior, we will find that he is guilty of all the charges relating to case 91 as far as eluding, speeding, reckless driving, reckless evasion, grand theft auto, attempted murder, and false identification of himself. He is going to be found guilty of, and all of those facts will come to light. The reckless conduct of Mr. Priest, we are going to definitely request a maximum sentence for this case.
Your Honor, we also agree.
What?
I just read the thing. What am I gonna do with this?
Do you want to switch?
There's literally.
We'll switch. You go stand over there.
All right.
The public defense attorney is not going to stand up here in court and say, I agree. No.
No, hang on. Okay, let me do it. It's redacted.
Find some holes, man. Come on, there's tons of holes.
We agree to
I
that.
break so I can fucking breathe. Oh my god. Give me 1 minute. God damn.
Bro, after reading that thing, I was like, I'm fucked.
Well, come stand over here.
No, it's all good. I'll figure it out. All right.
Find some holes, man. Find some holes. Come on.
Better thought than said.
Eight oh two three oh four.
Can I continue, or are we gonna?
Okay, I'm ready to continue. Oh my god.
His radio might be off. He's in court.
They were.
Your Honor, I'd like to discuss the matters in my opening statements to the arrest of my clients. Unfortunately, my client will not be able to attend this hearing. I do want to discuss the statement as written by the arresting officer that evening. The reason I'm reading the narrative for the situation will come further on into question. Is that okay with you, Your Honor?
That is acceptable.
Alright, the narrative from Officer 200 is stated: attempted stop on Marina Drive of gray Ford Mustang when the individual took off from me. The individual eventually stopped and opened fired on Unit 200. 200 was
Objection, Your Honor. The case file is already a part of the case. We don't need to hear the narrative. Everybody already has access to the narrative.
Your Honor, there's a reason why I requested to speak it and read it out loud. You've already given me. Am I allowed to continue to read, or?
You gonna?
I don't objection. You may continue. But there better be a reason.
There will be, Your Honor. The vehicle fled the scene, and the bullet was issued for the vehicle. Later in the evening, the individual was stopped for speeding, and when asked for his name, stated was marked AC. Upon asking the driver if the plate was registered to him, he stated that it was his, and he had bought it yesterday at 9:30 p.m. He noted he did not have the title or bill of sale. Upon asking the driver to step out of the vehicle, he decided to take off and fled down the valley below the bridge. After talking to the individual, he stated his name was not marked AC but Frank Priest. He was transported to jail and is awaiting court. I have no further statement at this time, Your Honor.
Seriously? I thought there was a reason.
Okay.
I said later on.
Oh, okay.
I'm so confused.
IMT.
Okay. Go to the next. Do we have any witnesses we'd like to call to stand?
Your Honor, I'd like to call the arresting officer Mr. Collin to the stand?
I agree.
Your Honor, isn't it
I agree.
district attorney that goes first?
I'm sorry, I didn't really understand. I thought the
I
order
was-
flipped. I apologize.
I was going to call him anyway.
Yeah, I apologize. I thought I went first there.
All right, who reads me my
The bailiff. After you stand up onto you get up onto the stand.
Are you gonna question him first then?
You can question him. It don't matter. You can go first.
Okay.
All right, so raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right.
Good evening, Officer Collin.
Hi.
I would like to ask you.
Objection, Your Honor. For the record, he is a deputy, not an officer.
Deputy Collin, I apologize. No disrespect, sir. You stated in the narrative that upon asking the driver, you attempted to stop a individual that you assume as Frank Priest, and that was the suspected individual of opening fire on you. How do you know that that individual that originally opened fire on you was my client?
Objection, Your Honor. He already read the narrative in his opening statements, and it clearly stated exactly the opposite of what he said. The officer clearly stated in the narrative that it was Mark A.C., not Frank Priest. He later identified him as Frank Priest.
Motion sustained.
I completely understand that and totally agree with.
The motion was sustained. You have to move on to the next question.
I understand that.
There's no argument.
However,
It's sustained.
That's not my motion.
Okay.
That's not what I stated, though.
Then rephrase the question.
The question being asked is, how do you know who fired at you in the original stop?
Huh? The
Deputy.
vehicle.
Hey, they're talking to an officer down inside the room.
I thought this was supposed to be.
Annex area to the courthouse. Go and roll EMS.
10-4.
Who did this? Was it Rogue?
I'm guessing is
God damn. Thank you.
he was out here.
Courtroom. Sir, hands. Put them up. We got one behind the cabinets in the back room.
10-4.
My fucking aim is shit. Oh shit.
Suspect down. I took one to the arm. You said EMS was being called?
Can we get back to court, please?
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go get checked out.
22 this scene. Rogue, you got one more freaking slip up. If you interfere
just
with
a
court
really
one
good
more
idea.
time,
Let's
I'm
give half.
banning the fuck out of you. You understand?
I did not know. I thought the court was still going against me.
It is. You cannot interfere with court. We can't get this done if we can't push forward. And we can't push forward if somebody keeps coming in here shooting at people.
Alright, I'll just leave the building. Can you revive me?
I think I'm going to leave you there. Somebody else can revive you. Somebody else is...
Not the lie, I'm painting.
Somebody else can go and revive him, but he has been warned.
Got him.
Take care of it.
200 301.
Send it.
Let's turn on peacetime.
Yeah, go for it.
Your Honor, may I proceed? Deputy,
Alright,
Alright.
So before we were interrupted, I wanted to rephrase my question. How do you know who the individual was that originally started firing on you when you first stopped a suspect in this narrative?
So, when I first stopped him, I had already run his plate, and I already knew the vehicle. I had all the information for the vehicle and the plate. That's how I knew who it was.
Did at any time before that situation, did you have his personal ID or any form of identification of the individual that fired upon you?
No, I wouldn't have his information. However, the information I had was based off of the CAD system. There was no ability for me to even stop and talk to him. He had fled from me when I tried to initiate a traffic stop on him. At which point we kept driving and he ended up shooting me.
I understand that. So the only information that you had on the first individual was the fact that you ran a license plate to the owner of the vehicle. However, you did not actually confirm the ID of the individual who fired on you, correct? Is that correct?
How are you supposed to get somebody's ID if they?
That's not what I asked you. I asked. It's a yes or no. It's a sir. It is a yes or no question.
What was the question?
Did you or did you not get any personal identification of the individual who fired on you? Thank you. All right. For the next question, so the stop in which after you had stopped another vehicle that had the individual had fled down to the valley bridge below. The suspect had stated his name was not Mark AC, but Frank Priest. In that incident, had the suspect crashed? Had he struck anything with his vehicle? Had he hit anything? Was it an abrupt stop? Was it an accident?
Well, so what ended up happening is we got a call from air support. Air support said there was a vehicle driving reckless and fast. The vehicle had been pulled over previously that evening for reckless driving and was given a warning. At which point, when we were called for the second time that we saw him, I ended up getting up to the valley. It was up in the Mount Chiliad areas, and when we were there, I ended up traffic stopping him. I was talking to him. He gave me an ID of Mark AC. Went back, ran the name, asked him, hey, do you have the bill of sale and information for the vehicle? At which point, after I had told him, I asked him, can you step out of the car? We need to talk about, the car and figure out what's going on with it. He decided that he was going to drive his car. He drove down into the valley, and I believe he hit a rock when we pulled up on him. We actually had to drive around and go up a small drainage ditch.
So the individual was in an accident after you had stopped him the second time?
He got into an accident after he fled from me.
That's not what I asked you, sir. It is a yes or no question. Was he in an accident when he was stopped the second time?
Before I stopped him or after?
The second time, when the individual was stopped, you said he had crashed into a rock. So is that or is that not an accident?
Objection, Your Honor. The defense is badgering the witness over what he had already stated in his original statement. He stated that the vehicle, after he stopped him, went down an embankment in through the valley and hit a rock. Obviously, that is common perception on that would be he's involved in an accident. I think we can move forward.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a statement to that as the narrative at no point states that the individual is in an accident. That is why I'm questioning.
Objection. Relativity. What does it have anything to do with? Other than he was involved in an accident.
The severity of the accident. And the harm done from the accident to my suspect, or to my client.
That's a civil issue. That is not a criminal issue. We're here talking about criminal charges.
Your Honor, Your Honor, I'm not going to sit here and badger with this. It has its precedence later on. The final statements will wrap this up. Am I allowed to continue with the questioning? Deputy, it is a yes or no question. Was the individual in a severe accident when you arrived when he went down in the valley? Did you hear my question?
No, I heard your question. It makes no sense.
It's a pretty simplistic question. What you stated is you, as a police,
No,
as a deputy, I'm assuming that you see thousands of accidents all the time, and you could rate them as they're fender benders to serious accident. Is it simple question? Was it a serious accident?
No, in my opinion, I would say it's not.
Did the airbags deploy?
No.
Was there any peripheral damage to the vehicle, such as the engine, frame damage, or anything like that?
From what I could tell, it was only the tire that had gotten popped and was the suspension was broken.
So, you as the officers had popped his tire?
No.
So what caused the tire to be popped?
Objection, Your Honor. This has nothing to do with the criminal case at hand.
It does, Your Honor. It's answer the question.
He already said sustained on the objection. You can move forward.
I didn't hear that. I apologize.
May the defendant's attorney.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the DA have...
You're cutting out for me.
I am? Am I cutting out for anyone else?
Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit, but you're good.
My apologies. Does the DA have any questions?
I believe the defense still has questions. Probably not revolving around an accident.
I have one final question for you, Deputy. Was the individual intoxicated at any point during the incident?
No.
He was not intoxicated?
Nope.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Deputy Colin, I promise that this is going to go a whole lot more smoother than what we just witnessed.
I hope so.
So, you attempted to stop a vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Why were you about to stop that vehicle?
The reason I attempted to stop was we were all, myself and a couple of units were sitting over at the Sandy Shores Police Department. I witnessed the vehicle traveling high rates of speed down, I believe it's Alhambra, and I went to go make a traffic stop on the vehicle, at which point the driver continued to flee down Marina. I eventually caught up to him, at which point he had stopped, got out of his vehicle. As I pulled up, he decided that he wanted to shoot my car. I believe it was a shotgun.
Okay. And so, with all of that, how long have you been practicing law enforcement? I understand that you were in Liberty City well before your time here in San Andreas. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. I've been doing law for 7-8 years now.
All right. So, in your 7-8 years of experience, would you say that his driving behavior at the time that you decided to initiate a traffic stop on him was reckless?
Yes, very much so.
And it was a danger to society?
Yes, I was worried that he was going to end up hitting a person on an ATV or a dirt bike and could possibly cause harm or death to them.
Okay. And so, fast forwarding a little bit, the individual that you got out with, were you able to, like, what kind of vehicle was he driving?
The vehicle that he was driving was a gray in color Ford Mustang. I believe the plate was AGO 921. He was wearing, I believe, all black when he had gotten out of the car.
Right. And so that vehicle, was that the same description of the vehicle that you attempted to stop earlier in the evening?
So, well, okay, which part are we at? Because the vehicle earlier in the evening I originally stopped was the Ford Mustang.
Okay.
The
And then
secondary
the
vehicle that was
second
stopped
vehicle.
it was a rusty Karen Rebel, I believe it was.
Okay. And so the Karen Rebel, what did on the Mustang, did you ever run the tag or anything like that?
I did. I ran the tag on the Mustang and it came back to Frank Priest.
Okay. And so when later on the second individual that you got out with, or the second vehicle per se, the second vehicle, the rusted Karen, when you got in, when you were able to identify that male subject, who was that?
So when we got a call from Mayor Support, they stated that they had a vehicle driving high rates of speed and driving
Well,
reckless. We went
not
to
not to
stop
cut
on the
not to
vehicle.
cut you off, Deputy. Just if you would, just answer the question. Who was that?
He stated his name was Mark A. C.
But he was really he then admitted to you who he really was?
Yes. After we had gotten him in custody, he admitted that. I asked him, I was like, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is Frank Priest," and that's what he actually is.
Were fingerprints ever conducted on this individual once he got to jail to confirm his identity?
Yes, we did a booking photo as well as fingerprinting, and we matched those with the previous individual as well as the previous arrests.
And at the time, so you stated that you had gotten shot at by a shotgun originally, correct?
Yes, yeah. The first time we had stopped his vehicle, he pulled out a shotgun, is what we believe it was that he shot us with.
Some sort of long gun.
Yeah,
Okay, slow rate of fire.
very.
Okay, so the subject that identified himself as Mark AC and then later identified himself as Frank Priest, who was later confirmed the identity of Frank Priest by fingerprints, did he have any weapons on him when you took him into custody?
No, he did not.
Okay, and was a vehicle search done by the Karen Rebel?
Yes, we had searched the vehicle and we did not find any weapons in the vehicle.
Okay. And were any carbon testing done on Frank's hands to confirm whether or not he had recently shot a firearm?
Yes, we did do a swab of the hands after or before we did the fingerprinting, and we did send that to the lab.
Okay, and did those lab results come back?
They did. We got them about a day ago.
And what were the results?
Objection, Your Honor. None of this evidence is actually here in court today, so I don't know how this can be used against my client.
Your Honor.
A day ago, that means that the defense attorney does not have access. You would have to motion for another day to bring this evidence forward.
Your Honor, it's standard.
I suppose I'm gonna-
Okay. So Frank Priest.
Per the court of law, the objection. Per the court of
Go
law-
ahead, counselor. Go ahead.
Per the court of law, the evidence must be present to be used against my client.
And it would be involved in the investigative notes, correct?
I don't see any investigative notes stating that my client has any relation to using a firearm.
You do know your client, correct?
I do know my client, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm not Your Honor.
You do know your client did come into the courthouse this morning with a firearm.
Your Honor, I ask that that statement be redacted for they are not a part of this court session.
Sustained.
Deputy, when that individual got out of the gray Mustang, he was wearing all black. What was the subject wearing when you got out with him in the Karen Rebel?
I vaguely recall it was a black, I believe it was tracksuit or some type of black outfit that he was wearing at the time.
So that subject driving the Karen was wearing all black. And the subject driving the Mustang was wearing all black, correct?
Yes.
Okay, no further questions. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. One more question. What's the time frame in between both these incidences happening? But the first incident happens, and then the second incident happens. What was the time frame in between those?
I would say about hour and a half, 2 hours.
So pretty recent after one another, correct?
Yes.
No further questions. Counselor, I don't think it's proper etiquette to be wearing a sidearm in court. Just an observation.
I don't know how to take it off.
It's under it's under the neck.
Free to step down or,
Put your neck onto one. It'll take it off.
Your Honor, am I free to step down, or is there more questions?
Free to step down.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm requesting to move towards final statements.
Motion sustained.
Please, go ahead.
Your Honor, as discussed with the deputy, I'd like to make the motion that my client is under the perjury of framing from the individual who originally shot at Officer 200 due to the fact that individual that originally fired at Officer 200 is not in this courtroom today. They cannot link any firearms or residue to my client, and my client at the time was improperly and aggressively questioned by the officers, multiple officers, and I'd like to make the force of Stockholm Syndrome against my client in the sense that he took the blame because he had no further way to go because of how aggressive the officers questioned him on scene. Yes, my client did crash his car. However, with flashing lights, being in an accident, anybody will say anything. My client was scared, and that is the pretenses.
Objection, Your Honor. I don't think I have ever heard that type of assumption ever, but spontaneous utterances is a thing, and somebody actually coming clean and to not get another charge is definitely probably one of the more reasonable reasons why somebody would come clean and actually state who they were.
Motion sustained.
I would like to bring up the point that my individual is at no point linked to any firearms usage and would like to decrease or drop the charges of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer, and my client will take the charges for reckless driving. Give me 1 second. Reckless driving, eluding police officer, reckless evasion, grand theft auto. However, I would like to have attempted murder of a law enforcement officer and false identification dropped for my client due to no evidence brought forth pertaining my client with no identification, no firearm at the scene being related to my client at all. That's all I have to say.
Your Honor, if you said something, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, different mic.
Oh.
May the DA please give their final statement.
During the date of this incident, the defendant recklessly eluded police officers in a gray Mustang, who was registered to the defendant. Furthermore, the description of that defendant meets the description of the driver who was encountered a second time. And during that second encounter, his reckless behavior did not cease. It actually furthered as he eluded again and went down a valley and caused an accident that he himself caused.
Objection, Your Honor.
Oh, go ahead. I can't wait to hear
The
this.
defense has already stated in relations to looting, speeding, reckless driving, and reckless evasion and grand theft auto that the individual has taken forward on the subject. The subject at hand was the attempted murder of a law enforcement officer, false identification, in which there was no evidence brought forth, nor any relation to my client.
Clearly, he would see where I was going with this. The accident is reckless behavior. The eluding is reckless behavior. The shooting at an officer is reckless behavior. I'm making a relation to all of them.
Motion denied.
The reckless behavior is inexcusable, especially when they shoot at a law enforcement officer in attempts to leave. There has been there.
That's baiting. Objection, Your Honor. That's baiting in my client.
Please define baiting. Please define baiting.
You were already assuming that my client was the individual that fired the weapon, even though at no point you have any proof that my client fired a weapon.
It's closing remarks, sir.
Again, closing remarks makes no difference. You're still alluding to the fact.
Now I'm alluding.
You are alluding to the fact.
Your Honor, may I have permission to continue my closing statements without being interrupted again unnecessarily? Thank you.
Motion denied. You may continue.
The reckless behavior of the defendant was well within the first incident and the second incident. There has been no statements made by the defense that nobody else was driving that vehicle. The description of both individuals in both incidences matched, and the reckless conduct was also the same. He eluded in both situations. Yes, he didn't have a gun on him on the second incident, but it's very easy to discard a weapon because it's a small object that can be thrown out the window if that were the case.
Objection, Your
We
Honor.
don't know that,
Objection, Your
but
Honor.
oh, here we go again.
Objection, Your Honor. The officer at the time alluded that it was a long gun, a shotgun. That is not an easy weapon nor a small weapon.
Counselor, can a shotgun fit through a freaking car window? I'm pretty sure it can. It's handheld, right?
How was it? No, I'm not going to get into this.
Motion
I'm not the one
sustained.
being questioned.
It is indeed a larger object.
Understood, Your Honor. All I'm trying to say is that the reckless behavior of the defendant is consistent in both incidences. The description is consistent in both incidences. He went to such reckless disregard for his own safety due to his reckless behavior that he ended up wrecking the second vehicle, which of course was not registered to him. No further statements. Oh shit.
Judge is packing heat.
Judge is prepped and ready to go.
Sir, question. Is that a judge?
Oh, see, I'll just ask out of character here. Just because because Repo knows better.
Judge,
Which
carry
is
a
the
judge.
point where we just finally go on to the whether guilty or stuff like that.
Conviction.
Yeah, the jury would go and deliberate based off of all the evidence presented, based off of the testimonies of all witnesses and closing and opening remarks and everything like that. They would go in and deliberate. Then they would come out with a verdict. Unfortunately, we don't have a jury, so that we have you making that call.
Trial by judge.
Right.
I would also request that you remain neutral to both myself and Tom, and you just look at the facts of the case and the code sections pertaining to the churches.
Neutrality is code. The defendant under
You would read.
charge of
Yeah, there you go. My bad. I'm sorry.
the defendant Frank Priest under the charge of eluding and evading a peace officer is found guilty. The defendant is also found guilty under speeding, reckless driving, reckless evasion, and theft auto, false identification. But the defendant, Frank Priest, is found to be innocent under attempted murder of an LEO.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Don't worry about that one. We'll appeal that one.
I definitely
well,
just
I
got you
know
out
we
of
will.
murder, dog. I definitely just got you out of murder. You're welcome.
Where you go?
Yeah, he still has another case. Good luck on that one.
You got
That was a bad call. That was for a while.
you got two more cases to defend here, buddy.
Some.
You gotta give me the Stockholm syndrome was a good point.
Can I talk?
Yes.
Oh. Oh Lord. I'll let Priest take the DA.
I'm
on
gonna
this
go
one.
a free man. You know? What? I'm gonna go a free
Well,
man.
you're still getting
Yeah,
charged with
you
grand
you
theft
still
auto.
got to get
You
sentenced.
know, other shit.
But you know, if I can get
I mean, you're
past
still looking at
murder,
life in prison.
Murder. If I can get past murder on an LEO, it's good. It's murder is much worse than the stolen vehicle.
Are we on 92 now?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that's just on one case there, buddy.
Oh my god, I'm so fucked here, dude. I'm already halfway through this.
Good luck.
Our next bottle of tequila.
Should
Well,
I go
301
grab my
it-
vodka?
Will
Hey, Tim,
301
is
and
this our
304
case?
be available?
Yep,
Will
I'm
301 and
here.
304 be available?
304's here.
Yes, sir.
Which case number are we on now?
92, I believe. Hey, Colin,
Yes.
will you take prosecutor,
I know, I was like,
please?
thank God.
Can't make any guarantees you're gonna win this one.
Well, just breathe.
Oh my god, this is the big one. Oh god.
I'm gonna recess because dear God, that was brutal.
I just need like 2 minutes to read over this and formulate
No,
some
don't get
thoughts.
any.
30
Yeah,
seconds.
that'll happen. You don't get anything.
You ready for this, bruh?
Needs me.
Be right back for about 10
Oh, I'm always ready.
Please.
But see, that
Dick slam. This
that's the thing though. That's the kind of officer I am. It is the DA's puppy now. I write a report. I display the
It is a
charges.
detailed ass report. Oh my god.
But other
I just
than
read
that,
through it.
I don't take it personal if he's found not guilty or whatnot. Now, if it was something like, murder or something like that, yeah.
Oh yeah, well.
Well, I mean, in retrospect,
It was
in this
pretty
case, he did murder you.
I was hit in the chest and the arm. I wasn't killed, quote unquote. Hopefully nobody sees that stream, that part of the stream.
Oh, we'll send that to the judge.
I know is I shot a lot of rounds.
Yeah, you
I
had
would
to.
request that this man right here is the DA.
Negative.
Because I can't guarantee anything on this case because I suck at it. I suck at being a DA.
Read it.
I've learned that.
Hey, Colin, you just have to. You read it. And was there anybody else in the car? Did he separate from the car? Was he found on scene? That's all you got to concentrate on.
Sick.
We got it. You guys got it.
What's the case?
92. That's one down the underground.
Dirty money was found on him. Dirty money was acquired from the robbery.
Case number 92 against Jeffrey
Oh,
Shaw.
this is the robbery one, yep.
No. If you look up Frank Priest.
Oh, hey,
Hey, what-
counselors, come here. Kent, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just taking a small little breather.
All right, so before trial, you would ask the defense if they want to invoke the rule. And where's the other counselor at? Tom,
Over
come
there
here.
hiding.
I'm right here.
This is pretty important to you if you're going to play defense. The judge will ask the defense, do you want to invoke the rule? And what the rule is if they invoke it, all witnesses have to separate from themselves and they cannot talk about the actual case whatsoever. That includes officers, any other witnesses, or anything like that. So that, and they can't hear each other's testimonies. They would have to separate out of the courtroom. So, but that option would be given to the defense attorney before the court case is heard or the trial begins.
Okay, do you accept it?
The defense does not wish to. The
Perfect.
defense
Good.
does
Thank you.
Sweet. All right, I'm walking back over here.
Go easy on you.
Go easy.
God damn, that's just fucked up.
Any thoughts?
I'm not seeing anything on this case.
Hey, the next time I break a law, I'm hiring this guy.
If you
And I'm
click on
gonna-
Frank Priest and look at his arrest history for case 92. If you click on it, it'll open up the whole entire case.
I'm going to make sure I hit
Colin,
my
if
head
you-
really
Colin,
hard,
I
too.
swear to God, if you lose, Colin, if you lose
hold
this
on.
one, I'm gonna be very upset with you.
This is actually how, like, municipal court is ran. All the officers are pretty much over here. Just kind of hanging out. Staring at everybody they give tickets to.
I
Hey.
don't see a case. Like,
Hey,
see
I
a
remember
case for it,
you.
I don't see a case for it.
I remember you too. Hey, did you get insurance on your car? I bet your car's still unregistered.
Oh yeah, Repo, one thing out of character. 100% you should legitimately just be a defense attorney to fuck with people.
Yeah, I know. That's usually what I do.
Like, I'll be honest. Like, I thought Tom was gonna probably lose all up until the point where he pulled out.
Well, yeah, discovery happens way before the trial, and that's where all the evidence is presented before the court. And so, and if it's not presented, it can't be used.
Yep, and I knew he was right on that. I'm sitting there like silently clapping to myself, going,
Oh, I was too.
I have a problem with this case.
What was that?
I don't see why you'd have an issue with this case.
Good question.
I suck at arguing points.
Out of character.
I mean, do you
which
want a
section
co-counsel?
under-
Is that what you're asking for?
Yes.
Yeah, because Colin doesn't have patience when it comes to people arguing.
Shut the fuck up.
He gets flustered and mad.
Well, if we're gonna argue the case, I gotta change this case.
Hey, put that. How did you get that in here?
He's a prosecutor. Do you really pat down the prosecutor? Did you pat down the prosecutor?
Yeah, fair point.
Out of character. I need help.
What's up?
That's why there's, you know, an assault rifle laying on the table.
What's up?
Where in the settings? Where in the settings do you switch it from window to full screen? Which tab is it under?
Alt
Is that
enter?
trying to-
It's in the
Alt.
advanced graphics. You can hit all enter, yeah.
Thank you.
Noob.
I couldn't figure that out.
Rookie.
You can argue a court case, but you can't navigate through the computer screen. That's awesome.
But you can't go full screen.
You never go full screen.
It's true.
Oh, wow.
Once you go full screen, you can never go back.
Is that what they
Is that
say?
the way it is? I thought it was the other way around.
What color is your screen?
That's wrong.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's true though.
It is. Who's ready for
In all
these
honesty,
things?
though, in that case, you guys would have had all the fingerprints. You would have had everything like all
Yeah.
lined up.
Yes, we would have, Mr. Smart One.
And unfortunately, we don't have investigators yet. So we don't have investigative
Right,
notes.
Objecting.
It was
I got dude.
so truthfully.
Props. That was,
So truthfully, in closing and opening remarks, you cannot object. There is no objection during that.
I would agree.
But I was
I would love to
objecting,
yell that.
so I let Tom object because I did that to him. I was trying to get him flustered and it didn't fucking work. So it actually worked against me when he did it because he objected 3 damn times. I couldn't finish my freaking thought process. But on closing and opening remarks, you cannot object. Just keep that in mind.
I object, Your Honor.
I did not know that. I apologize.
No, you're
Yeah,
good
no,
because
No, well, I mean, that was fair. Repo tried it on you, and
Yeah.
he didn't even know that. So I was like, fuck it. If he's objecting, everyone objects today. And every time Repo
Oh, my
comes
lord.
here, he lost his mind. I'm sitting there kind of laughing.
Hello.
wait, who's that guy?
It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me.
Priest, you're in the wrong seat.
Rogue,
Well,
other
this is
side.
comfortable.
Technically, Priest is on trial right now. Mr. Frank Priest is being tried.
Not free.
Oh. Nice. It's an actual
Alright.
coffee.
Rogue, other side.
Wrong chair.
No,
Yeah,
table.
I gave you a copy. I wasn't gonna lie.
Come by me, bud.
Oh, thanks, bud.
I got you.
You want a coffee? I got you a coffee.
How
Oh, wait.
how do we use that?
F2,
Well,
and
very
then coffee. You
Oh.
just drag it onto you.
I was
Can we
maybe.
discuss
No,
smoking?
I only have his beer left, and I'm not
Oh,
drinking
no,
that
no,
before
no,
it
they're
goes.
good.
Oh, use doesn't work.
Hey, you are?
I mean,
You
I'm
smoking?
smoking a cigarette. Yeah, I
you know,
can smoke
smoking
it.
in my court.
Yeah, why are you smoking? Are you an idiot? Gotta. Oh, and then you're gonna litter. Way to fucking go. Your Honor, this will be dealt with.
Take my card.
I know a good cleaning
Alright.
guy.
Are we getting back into this now?
Yeah, Lieutenant Jordan's ready.
I might as well smoke too.
Ooh. Hey,
Well-
Bailiff. Can we remove the gentleman on the far left here that's smoking?
Hey, bud, can you put that out, please,
If you,
for the sake
if
of...
you continue smoking,
Yeah.
you will be held in contempt of court.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get you out of this. Let's just make it easy for me, alright?
That's not gonna
I
happen.
did it once.
You should probably
I
let
did
him
it
smoke.
once.
But in real life,
did
I'm
it
gonna go
once.
smoke dope.
You got one charge reduced.
Okay, so opening
Okay.
segment.
On September 6th, Your Honor, 2020, Chief Repo Studios, badge number 301, Chief or Captain Jordan, badge number 304. They responded to the liquor store at Postal 7066 in reference to a robbery that was in progress. Upon their arrival, they observed a gray sedan, busted driver door window. When they cleared the area, or cleared the car and the store and the surrounding areas, they were unable to locate the subject. They were continuing their search and patrolling the area, looking for a vehicle or the subject. At which point, Chief Repo Studios observed a gray two-door vehicle. He passed a very high rate of speed in the middle emergency lane, traveling southbound while he was going northbound. Called out to other units, began to pursue the vehicle. The vehicle traveled down into Los Santos. The pursuit continued into the city limits before the vehicle drove his vehicle into an access tunnel into the subway tunnel in the construction area. The vehicle crashed into the wall. After ramping off the access way, the driver fled the vehicle on foot and took a defensive position. From the responding units, he took a defensive position from the responding units. From his point, the driver began from the point that they all arrived, the driver began shooting at officers with an assault rifle. Officer Repo Studios was actually, or Chief Repo Studios, Your Honor, was actually struck with a multiple times in the vest. I'm fortunate to have him here today. He was also struck in the arm as well. Other units were able to maneuver onto the subject and successfully take him down or take him into custody. The driver was identified as Mr. Frank Priest. He was also hit multiple times and was treated by the Los Santos Metro medical personnel. He was then transferred to the Vespucci PD for processing, at which point Mr. Priest became aggressive with officers while being held in the holding cell. He was tased at that point when he was in the holding cell because he was being aggressive. The subject was treated once again by the medical staff and was then transported to the county jail where a hold for warrants was placed on the individual. Your Honor, I would ask that on the charges of armed robbery, aggravated robbery, attempted murder, speeding, reckless evasion, failure to yield to a stop sign, grand theft auto, aggravated assault, and reckless driving, I would ask that we charge the defendant at the maximum that we can possibly charge him at. That is all, Your Honor.
Now for the next opening statement from defendant.
Your Honor, after reading the situation here, my client I would like to represent my client in statements of never actually being at the location of the liquor store at Postal 7066. My client was never in the vicinity of 7066, that liquor store. My client was also at that time quite busy with family issues. I'd also like to bring up the initial statements of the officers pursued a gray vehicle in which my client was in. My client is a avid gun owner. He does like to practice his Second Amendment rights. He is also very well aware of his rights as a law-abiding citizen of the United States and what he can and cannot do with his weapons. The defense would like to motion for no evidence of armed robbery and the acts of attempted murder on the law enforcement officer, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, would all be marked as self-defense. No further statement.
Okay, moving on. Do we have any witnesses that we would like to call up to the stand?
Yes, just give me a moment here, Your Honor.
I don't need luck.
Your Honor, I would like to call Officer or Chief Repo Studios, badge number 301, to the stand.
Chief Repo Studios, could you please step up to stand?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I was texting on my phone. I swear to tell the truth
case.
and the whole truth, so help me God.
May we have a bailiff?
Well, Judge, you can also do it if we don't have a bailiff.
Sir, raise your right hand.
It's my left hand, but yeah, let's do this.
Yep, left hand, sorry. Whew, straight face. Let's refocus. Zen, do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. You may be seated.
Chief Repo Studios, I'm glad to have you here today. Noel, you've been recovering and everything from the whole incident. So tell me a little bit, when you were going, what direction were you going when you saw the vehicle pass you?
I was traveling north, just north of the liquor store. I had just turned onto Great Ocean Highway and was traveling in the number 1 lane, which is the inside lane of that highway. And I observed that gray vehicle shortly after pulling out.
You're cutting out.
You keep cutting out.
I'm sorry, I must have a frog in my throat. It's a good thing there's this coffee here that I got.
We can always refill it.
We couldn't find that subject that was responsible for the robbery at that location of the store, so I ended up deciding to go and search the surrounding area. I got into my patrol car, I took a right-hand turn to travel north on Great Ocean Highway, and I observed a gray vehicle probably about maybe 1 to 2 buildings down from the liquor store, traveling south in the emergency lane at a very high rate of speed.
Okay, and when you saw it going south, could you make out anybody in the car, or was it, what happened with that?
I could only see that it was a white male individual driving a gray 2-door vehicle.
Okay, and you said it was going southbound, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, I mean, what did you do after you had spotted that vehicle going south?
I called it out the other units. I activated my emergency equipment, my lights and sirens, and I began to pursue that vehicle.
Okay, and what position were you in the pursuit?
I originally, after calling it out, making a U-turn, I was last in the pursuit, but about halfway down the freeway, I was able to maneuver myself all the way up to the primary position directly behind that vehicle, just north of the Del Perro Freeway tunnel.
Okay, and when you were in primary, position, what, can you walk me through, what point did, the vehicle turn off, or, how long after you got in first, or in the primary position, did it take for him to veer off the road?
The vehicle was starting to, it looked like it was starting to malfunction, and he ended up going underneath, I believe, I don't recall the street name, but he went underneath a underpass on Interstate 2, traveling eastbound, and he ended up cutting off into a access tunnel that opened up to the subway construction area.
Okay, and at that time, obviously, you followed the vehicle down, when he went into that access area, did he, jump a cliff, or, what happened?
He did. So the access pathway down to the actual construction area, it makes a sharp left-hand turn, and it goes down a series of ramps before it gets down to the subway level. And that vehicle ended up traveling still at a high rate of speed. He struck the wall and then ended up ramping off that right at that first 90-degree turn and landed down in the subway construction area on its roof.
Okay, and when he went off the ramp, or the edge, is it fair to say that you didn't have any involvement in him going over that edge? He lost control going over?
No, I actually had to slam on my brakes before entering the tunnel, and that created a pretty big distance between my vehicle and his. And then I was still able to observe the vehicle as he made that jump.
Okay, so it's fair enough to say you had no involvement with him going off that jump and landing, or putting the car on its roof. Correct.
Correct.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
Good evening, Mr. Rebo.
It's Chief. Thanks.
Good evening, Chief. I have some peculiar questions off the bat here. In the narrative here, there's no statement of any suspect in this situation ever attempting to steal a vehicle or force an individual to get out of their vehicle by threats or with a weapon to get out of their vehicle. My question, I guess, pertaining to this is, where does the Grand Theft Auto come into place on this?
The vehicle that your client was located in that ramped off into the subway construction area was not registered to him, and he was in close proximity of the robbery. So, therefore, he was charged with Grand Theft Auto, since the code section of theft by receiving is not applicable to this because we don't have that code section.
Understandable, but did you ever witness the individual himself force someone, whoever the suspect is, did you ever witness him actually forcefully take a car from someone?
I didn't. I just told you the reason why we have that code section in there in place of theft by receiving is because theft by receiving was not able to be placed there. And he was in possession of a vehicle that he did not own.
Understandable. Okay. So Grand Theft Auto charge should be theft by receiving.
Yes.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
So in the situation,
Your Honor, objection. I would object to where the defense attorney is standing. Our witness is not able to see both attorneys that are sitting at our table at this time.
Your Honor, he is.
You could have him move to the left or the right.
Your Honor, he's at full capability to see any of his representatives.
Dane.
Okay, I got my hot pockets. What did I miss?
Okay.
Damn it.
Is he bringing hot pockets to court? No, he's got a smart idea.
Your Honor. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. That threw me off. Chief Rebo. At any time, did you see who the individual was that was robbing the liquor store?
No.
Did you get a description of the individual robbing the liquor store?
I did not.
So, for clarification's sake, you saw a gray two-door vehicle leaving the liquor store, correct?
He was in the vicinity of the liquor store.
Okay, alright. And you stated in your narrative that you had cleared and effectively searched the store, and you were unable to find anyone or anything, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
You want me to read my narrative to you?
No, I just wanted a clarification, thank you.
Okay.
So, in the pursuit of the gray vehicle in which my client was in which he had flipped the car, when you arrived to the vehicle, was your weapon drawn?
I got out of my...
Was your
Yes.
sidearm drawn?
Yes, absolutely. Before I exited my
Your
vehicle... Go ahead.
So, I think we could all assume that a traumatic crash like that a individual would sustain some injuries, correct?
I would definitely...
Objection, Your Honor. Will
Definitely
you please advise the defense counsel to let's not assume statements of things that occurred on the scene, but stick to the facts? Thank you.
Your Honor, there's nothing in the narrative stating whether or not the officers on scene were there to provide medical care for my individual. And
Regardless of care provided, you're assuming facts of the scene, sir.
No, I'm asking
Okay.
your.
No,
Objection.
Thank you, Your
How
Honor.
do I provide medical care to an individual who's shooting at me?
Tell the captain shut up.
Yeah. Captain, shut
Your
up.
Honor.
Sorry, I just, sorry.
304.
Objection, Your Honor. I request to have that narrative X'd from the case.
Next. What? Can you define next? Go ahead with your questioning, sir. I'm anxious to answer.
You arrived on a scene of a serious accident, and at this point, no shots were fired, but you felt the need to have your weapon drawn on him instead of provide medical care?
Your Honor, with permission, can we all watch the video? The body cam and dash cam were recorded.
I'm the one who... Excuse me, objection, Your Honor. I'm the one who's supposed to be asking the questions here.
And I was talking to the judge, and he said sustained. So
objection, Your Honor. I am the one who has had my time to ask my questions. This is questioning.
Motion sustained.
So, again, I'm going to ask. At the time, you arrived to where...
Counselor, standard protocol when
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. Objection.
Ask his question. You will answer questions.
Okay.
Please answer the questions he had.
All right. Well, then answer your damn question.
At the time, Chief, did you not arrive to the scene and not provide medical care for the suspect and immediately drew your weapon? Is that correct?
He's a fleeing felon. He's supposed to be taken into custody first, which is standard protocol. I gave you an answer. You asked.
Yes or no? That is not a no. It is a yes or no question.
Oh, okay. Well, then state that. You're not being very clear, Counselor.
Yes or no? Did you arrive on scene with your weapon drawn and not immediately provide medical attention for my client?
That is correct.
Thank you. So, in your narrative, the only time that my client was actually sent to medical staff was when he was already at the county jail, correct? Yes
He was treated on scene. It says that in the narrative. Once again, do you want me to read it to you?
Your narrative does not say that. It says that once... Hang on, let me clarify this.
Yeah, clarify it, please.
Your narrative at no point, it says once again, but at before that, I don't know what once again is referring to. So I need clarification. Was there 2 times in which medical care was provided, yes or no?
He was hit multiple times, therefore he was treated by medical personnel and transported to the jail. Now, when a subject is taken into custody and taken into... Then maybe clarify, Your Honor. He's not clarifying whether or not he wants a yes or no. And he keeps constantly asking complex questions.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, objection. I guess that's your word for the day.
Your Honor, I'm requesting that any more outbursts from the Chief will result in contempt of court.
Objection, Your Honor. Can we please advise counsel to treat the witness as hostile if he's considering not going to answer questions or answer yes or no questions, rather than belittling my experienced law enforcement witness?
Motion sustained.
Chief, I'm going to continue to ask you...
Please ask your irrelevant questions.
Chief, I'm going to continue to ask... Objection, Your Honor. I'm requesting that the individual on the stand does not continue to have...
Yeah, who the fuck are you to object a freaking a judge?
Wow. Negative. If you would continue to let me speak, I just stated, Your Honor, I'm requesting that the individual on the stand discontinues his outbursts.
Sustained. But you are to clarify your questions.
Yes, Your Honor. So, at no point, Chief Repetto, to confirm my thought process here for the jury and the judge himself, the individual at the armed robbery was not found at any point, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, he was.
How do you who is the individual found at the robbery then?
The subject sitting at your table.
How can you confirm that?
You'll have to ask Captain Jordan.
What? No, I'm asking you. What evidence do you have? How can you confirm that the individual at the robbery is my client?
You'll have to ask Captain Jordan. I can take it. If one peace officer knows something, he can tell another peace officer that, and I can take it as fact.
Your Honor, objection. I've asked
Okay,
the
okay.
individual on the stand for no longer outbursts and just answer the questions. At what point is this
Your
not
Honor,
continued?
I am answering his question, and he's not wanting to hear it.
That's not what I asked you.
You asked a question. I'm giving you an answer. Do you want it or not?
How
Your Honor,
do you know?
Objection, Your Honor. The defense counsel is trying to get the witness to answer questions he may or may not have answers to, but
Sustained.
So, Chief Repetto, you have no clue.
You have to move on to your next question because it was already sustained.
It is. So you have no clue who was at the scene, but you're automatically assuming that it is my client.
It's not assuming. It's based off facts.
Your Honor, we've already clarified assumptions based off of factuals from the statement. I suggest that the
Objection,
defense
Your
counsel
Honor.
please
The
move on from
individual
this line of
states that
statement.
he has. The objection, Your Honor. The individual states that he knows facts, but refuses
You can't
to
object
state
an
those facts in
objection.
court.
Either move on or get to your line of questioning, client, counselor.
Sustained.
Your Honor, the client refuses to give information in which the facts. There is no objection to that.
Your Honor, he's asking my witness, not the client, the witness, to assume what he may or not have information to based off what occurred at the scene. He needs to move on, sir.
Be the defendant.
Chief.
That is.
I'm sorry, Ken. You were really quiet.
I didn't hear you again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would the witness please give any facts in regards to evidence and proof that the defendant was the one who did indeed commit armed robbery?
I am not the officer that searched the subject. However, when the search was conducted by Captain Jordan, dirty money from the liquor store was located on your client, therefore tying him to the robbery.
So that leads into my next question, Chief. How do you know that that money is dirty and or from the liquor store?
Well, it's dirty money because it's dirty money. All the bills are marked as dirty unless they go and they have them commonly known as washed. And only dirty money is accumulated from criminal activity.
So you cannot confirm that that
Oh,
money
good God.
came from the gas station, though. Correct?
Objection, Your Honor. We've already gone over this multiple times. We can't keep assuming that something isn't that.
Your Honor, I'm
Sustained.
simply asking
Next
questions to find.
Next
Thank you,
question.
Your Honor.
This has been gone over several times. Unless you have a point that you are getting to that is separate from every little bit of the point you asked from the same question.
Yes, Your Honor. The point I'm making here, since you've asked, is that the chief is the considered arresting officer and the one who made the report, and yet has stated that he does not actually know what happened and has not been able to give out any actual facts.
Objection, Your Honor. The question has been asked several times in multiple different formats and it's been answered. Can we move on to the next question?
Sustained. Next question.
So, Chief Repo, would you say that my client would have been sustained some pretty significant injuries from the accident and rolling the vehicle.
He didn't look injured when he went and took a defensive position and started shooting on officers. He got up and he ran.
That's understandable, and I appreciate your honesty there. But would you assume that anybody in an accident in which they roll a vehicle would be quite injured, correct? You've seen quite a few accidents. You're a chief of the police. I'm assuming you've been to a lot of accidents. I'm assuming that we could inform that a lot of people would be injured from that, correct? At least a concussion or any form of cranial injury, especially being on the roof of the
Objection,
car.
Your Honor. We're asking a law enforcement member to answer medical questions based off what he may or may not have seen in multiple accidents that aren't related to this specific case.
I don't know, Your Honor. The accident at the scene is pretty relatable to this case.
You, sir, asked. He's worked many of accidents.
You're making an assumption.
You're asking a member of law enforcement to answer a medical question.
Can you guys hear me?
He's the professional here who has seen many accidents.
Yes, he is absolutely a professional in law enforcement.
The judge is trying to speak.
I can't.
Sorry, I can't hear.
I'm sorry.
Shift H to S. Kim.
Okay, better?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Hey, there.
Yep.
Thank you.
If you stop me, I couldn't tell if you stopped me.
I was going to say that the accident is relevant.
Again,
What?
Chief Repetto, I'm asking, would you or would you not assume that an accident like that would result in significant injuries to an individual?
I don't assume when it comes to accidents. I go and assess and I look at the injuries. I was unable to do so with your client because he got up and ran away. It would be safe to assume that he was injured, but maybe not injured to the point of disabling or whatnot. He was in his right state of mind, if that's what you're getting at.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Yes, Your Honor. 1 second, please.
He also at no time didn't request medical help.
Thank you. So, Chief Repetto, when my suspect fired on you, would you say that he was firing accurate shots that were intended to kill?
Yes.
Okay. So, you believe that my client fired shots that were intended to kill after receiving a traumatic accident?
Your client shot me multiple times in my vest and in my arm. Yes, he was trying to kill me.
Okay, thank you. In regards to the situation at the Vespucci PD, you being the chief of police, how would you say that the conditions in which my suspect was treated while in handling a Vespucci PD?
He was placed in a holding cell. Handcuffs were removed. He became aggressive with officers. Handcuffs were then replaced on him, and after he was tased. He was left there until the processing was complete.
Thank you. At any point, was there any verbal communication between the officers and my client?
Yes, I specifically remember, no, don't do that. And then taser, taser, taser. And then we will leave him like this because we will leave him in handcuffs, which is the this. We'll leave him in handcuffs since he is combative.
At what point did PD medical staff see my client then afterwards?
Right after.
Thank you.
Oh, see, that's all RP'd because we don't have medical staff in game.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah.
Okay.
No further questions.
Yeah,
I'm
out of
not
character,
going
I
to use that
wouldn't.
against you.
Out of
Oh, yeah,
character,
I'm
I
not
wouldn't
using
allow
it
that to
against
be bitched about since we don't have it.
Yeah, no, I'm not using that against him. It leads to something else. No further questions, Your Honor.
Does the DA have any questions for the witness?
None at this time.
I'm on my last pinch.
Your Honor, we have no more further questions for Chief Repo Studios. Your Honor, we'd like to submit body cam footage from the incident from the time that the officer was responding to the scene of the robbery and to the incident inside the Vespucci PD. I believe you should have it in your inbox.
Can that be sent to me as well?
Yeah, it has to be.
Give me a few minutes and I will.
Yeah, I'd like to. Did it get sent to me by chance? This is out of character,
If not, I'll send it to you.
Already sent.
I got it.
What should be right around 2 hours and 45 minutes?
Thank you.
Or I'm sorry, 2 hours and 45 seconds.
The robbery, in responding to the robbery, happens at 1 hour 55 minutes.
Thank you.
How long am I supposed to watch it?
To the point that it ends in the PD. Should be the very end of the video.
The report writing starts at about 2 hours and 13 minutes. That's when you can stop because he's then transported to the jail after.
Your Honor, if I may, can we request that Chief Repo Studios comes back to the stand?
I, the criminal, can I review this too? Can I look at it?
I mean, you have nothing to say. You can't talk because you were held in contempt somehow.
Okay.
You're technically not supposed to be here. But I'll link
Chief,
it to you. You just can't say anything.
Chief, I have one question for you. At the time of the whole incident down in the tunnel, why wasn't there time to provide medical attention for the individual?
After viewing the body cam footage, it is a critical incident, and usually critical incidences are usually handled a little differently because some small details can be. Oh, jeez.
I object, Your Honor. The individual on the stand has already stated that he's using strictly from the body cam footage and is not actually recollections from himself.
I was there, counselor.
I object, Your Honor, that he's now just using visual evidence instead of his actual own accounts from the situation.
Your Honor, can I
Your Honor,
explain?
Can we advise defense counsel that the witness does have a right to review his own body cam footage prior to the court hearing itself, and can watch the
I'd like
footage
to
here
remind
in
the
court
court.
as we review?
Oh my God.
I'd like to remind the court that the individual on the stand should be recalling all of his personal information and should not have any notes on hand while being questioned. He can review.
Counsel, I understand that's your opinion. It is his right under San Andreas law to be able to review his own body cam footage.
All right, look.
I don't know where you got your bar at, but under San Andreas law, he does
All right,
deserve that right.
I'm gonna override all of y'all. All right, listen. A critical incident, sometimes small details can be forgotten. That's why another person is taking a statement, such as an investigator, from the officer who is involved due to situations like this. However, if you want to use body cam footage, we can use body cam footage. Your client shot at me while I was in the vehicle. I did not state that earlier because you did not ask. Yes, it was my own account, and yes, I could not remember that because of the high adrenaline rush. It is reasonable to believe that a normal human being would not remember every little detail, and that is why critical incidences are critical incidences. I do have the right to actually answer this question and tell them exactly what happened after reviewing my body cam footage. I can review that. I can even we can even review that on the stand. As such, I can also review my report.
Your Honor, I'd like to recant my objection.
Thank you. Please ask your question again because I completely forgot it.
Very sorry. So the question again, at the time of the incident, when you were in the tunnel, why didn't you have time to provide the individual or the suspect medical attention? Why didn't you have time to do that?
Due to this being a critical incident, I did not recall what happened right when I arrived on scene. After reviewing body cam footage, I arrived on scene still in my vehicle and had to fire out of my windshield because the client presented a firearm and started shooting at me, which actually led to me being hit multiple times. I then exited my vehicle and the subject was still shooting. I returned fire and was knocked out due to his rounds.
Well, fair to say that when arriving, you were shot at. Therefore, because of the whole incident, you had no ability to get out of your vehicle and even assess him for injuries or any, accidental-related injuries. Correct?
Correct. In a short amount of time, I was assessing my own injuries.
And did you see who shot you? If you can point him out in the courtroom, that'd be great.
It's the defendant. He got out of the vehicle and started shooting.
Okay, and is he in the courtroom?
He's the defendant. He's sitting at the defense table.
Can you point to him for me, please?
I would point, but this desk doesn't allow me to point.
You point, you died.
He's over there.
Your Honor, I would like to make note that the defendant.
Your Honor, I'd like to object to the statements. Your Honor, I'd like to object to the statements. The individual, after reviewing, stated that my suspect had fired while he was in his vehicle. My suspect was never in the vehicle.
I fired while I was in the vehicle.
Yes, you stated that the suspect was still in his vehicle, though.
No, he got out. I fired from my vehicle.
Okay, I just wanted that clarified. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'd like to make note that the witness here pointed to the defendant sitting at the defense table. Also, I'd like to add for the record that the defense made a statement saying that if he points at him, that he will kill him. If that could be added to the record, that'd be great. At this time, no further questions.
Technically, my client's not here.
But right next
He's
to you.
right there.
He was held of contempt. He'd be sitting in a jail cell.
Priest?
I suggest you tell your counselor to shh and not talk.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to call Captain Jordan.
Just so you know, still watching it.
304 to the stand.
As the victim of your terroristic threat, I'm going to excuse it. Just saying.
Trooper, would you be able to swear in the witness?
That's not a you, Repo. That's a him.
No, I know.
Okay. Alright, you do it.
Raise your left hand. You're supposed to stand up, Knuckles.
I'm raising my left hand.
Yeah, stand up so I can see it. So the court can see it. So the defendant can see it. Get out of first person.
I can't see nothing from over here.
You'll be able to see a finger here in a second. Not the middle one though.
Do you see it?
No.
I'm pointing up. Do you see it?
No, you're in first
Raise your
person.
hand. Out of first person.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Good luck. You may be seated.
Go with God.
May God be with you. And the question's forever in your favor.
Captain Jordan, how are you today?
Good, yourself.
I'm doing good. Alright. So, you were a part of the whole incident at the robbery, correct? You were on your way up there? Alright. When you were when you were there, I mean, obviously we heard that there was, you guys didn't find anybody there. When you guys ended up dealing with the subject after he had wrecked his vehicle and everything, did you guys search him by chance?
We did. I did.
Okay, and when you searched him, what did you find on him?
Upon searching the subject, I found multiple firearms to include a automatic assault rifle and $7,942 in dirty money.
Okay. And with that dirty money, obviously it was placed into evidence for the court proceedings, correct?
Correct.
And so what unit were you when you arrived on the scene of the shooting, when that was all going on?
As in my unit number, or where did I come into play in responding?
Like, when you arrived on scene, what number were you in the units responding? What position were you at?
I was one of the last
second,
units
third,
on
fourth?
scene. I was one of the last units during the chase.
Got
Upon
it.
my arrival, we had all arrived at the same time, between myself, the Sheriff's Department, and the State Highway Patrol.
Okay. And
State Patrol.
State Patrol.
Just wanted him to be correct
Thank
on
you-
that,
thank
sorry.
you, little birdie. So you arrived on scene, and when you arrived, what did you witness when you were pulling on to the scene and everything?
I immediately got on scene and my vehicle was disabled due to driving over an embankment. I exited my vehicle and at that time immediately observed the suspect outside of his vehicle taking a defensive position, firing rounds at Chief Repo Studios. At that time, I observed Chief Repo Studios get hit multiple times and fall to the ground. At that time, I had already had my firearm unholstered, and at that time started to exchange rounds with the suspect, who began shooting at me. It was at that time that myself and Sheriff's Deputy 200 had engaged rounds with the suspect, who was still in a defensive position on a corner wall. It is when he had stopped firing rounds at us that we were able to reassess the situation and take a more offensive posture on the suspect. At that time, myself, a sheriff's deputy, and a state trooper had rounded that corner, and upon rounding that corner, I observed the suspect in a kneeling position with his hands above his head.
Okay, and the individual that was shooting, is he in this courtroom today?
Yes.
And can you point him out for us?
I can't point while I'm sitting, but he's sitting at the defense.
You said 213 is where the report writings started, right?
Should a little past that is the incident inside the jail cell.
Copy. Just making sure because it was long and I wanted to make sure I wasn't just overwatching.
And, Your Honor, I'd like to make note that the witness did point to the defense sitting at the table. And so, upon arriving, obviously, you guys exchanged fire. Did the individual, when he was shooting back at you, did he look like he was injured at any point, or like that he couldn't engage rounds with you?
He did not appear to be injured, and at no time that I believe my rounds had struck that suspect. In that time, I had observed Chief Repo Studios still in a position of compromise, and I was unable to extricate him from that position while this individual was shooting at us with automatic weapons fire. So at that time, I proceeded to engage rounds and suppress that target around that corner so we could get to a defensive position around Chief Repo Studios. At no time did the individual seem injured or incapacitated at any point.
Okay. Fair enough. So, going to the incident down at the jail, obviously, I mean, when you were down there, who was watching the individual originally? When he was put into the holding cell and everything, did you guys have anybody watching him or anything?
Myself and a sheriff's deputy were originally watching the suspect.
Okay, and did he start to get belligerent, or I mean, what? Kind of walk me through what happened when he was in the holding cell.
We originally brought the suspect into a holding cell. We placed him inside of there, removed his handcuffs, and extricated ourselves from that detention area. At that point, I observed the suspect exit his holding cell and into the main corridor area. he began to put himself in a front-leaning rest position, and we instructed him to remove himself from that position and go back to his jail cell. At that time, he was non-compliant. We made entry into that corridor, myself and another sheriff's deputy, and advised him to get up and return back to his jail cell. He still failed to do so, and at that time a taser was deployed after fair warning was given. He was then re-handcuffed, placed in his jail cell. After that, the suspect who was searched, we were not able to find a object to unsecure his handcuffs, but he did have one on him. He had gotten out of the restraints that he was placed in, re-exited his jail cell, and once again became combative with jail officers.
Okay.
Which is where he was questioned by Chief Repo Studios on how he was able to remove his restraints.
Okay. And obviously fair enough to say that, I mean, obviously afterwards, after him being tased and re-restrained, medical staff came down, evaluated him, made sure he was okay, correct?
Yes, per policy for every taser deployment, it's required that they're evaluated by either jail staff, nursing staff that are there, or by EMS personnel on scene, depending on where that taser deployment happens at.
Okay. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Boy, it's quiet. Are we doing
Your Honor,
anything else?
Your Honor, am I allowed to question the individual on the stand?
On cross-examination, yes, you are.
Kent, you there?
I think he's still watching.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm about to question.
I'm still watching the video. I'll still start at 153 and go to 213.
God. Can we wait or should we proceed? What are we gonna do?
Wait.
I think counsel's going to re-ask questions and then let you have your...
Right?
Who asked him?
Popcorn.
Can't believe it's already fucking midnight.
I'm just happy I don't gotta work tomorrow.
We have been in here for 3 hours. I feel like this is a real trial.
It is.
Can we just summon it up and just say guilty or innocent?
Dog, do you want me to save you or fucking not? Do you want me to fucking save you? Because I have stuff here.
I don't care at this point.
Your Honor, how many F words do we?
When you go ahead in closing.
Your Honor, how many F words do we have to hear before it's it's contempt? I mean,
Go ahead.
this is. I've heard like 23 freaking F words.
Can you be in game for a
I'm
second?
probably gonna continue to kill cops.
I mean,
Shut
out of character,
up.
you might win on the Grand Theft Auto or the robbery, but you're not gonna win on the attempted murder of a fucking police officer.
Bro, I already did.
No,
on
shut up.
duplicate.
Shut. Oh my god.
Perfect.
Whatever. I hit.
This is all on record,
Counsel, if you
FYI.
like to-
No, that was out of character. That's not on record.
Say that to my stream.
I'm here.
I said out of character first.
Say that to my
Your
stream.
Honor, Your Honor, we would like to ask that. I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but there has been countless F words dropped from the defense table. We would ask that
we can 22 all that. Defense, it's your turn to question.
Here, let me light this goddamn cigarette.
Out of character, go. I'm going to object you again if you don't take 2 steps to the right or left.
He can see you.
Oh.
Thank you. Actually, no, it raises him like 3 feet to 6 foot. If your character's 6 foot, it blocks his line of sight.
Really?
Yes.
Where we had started off is the defense had no
Oh my
questions
god, he
left.
missed all your questioning.
Holy! I said I was watching the video.
Oh
Are
my
you
god.
serious?
Oh no.
We just went through like 10 minutes of fucking questions.
Oh no.
Should have listened. I said it loud
Your
and clear. I said,
Your Honor.
Moment, I need to watch evidence.
Your Honor, if
Your Honor.
Okay, preacher, I don't need you no more.
all the questioning from the prosecutor. Be quiet, please. Be quiet, please. Be quiet, please.
Stop.
Quiet.
Stop. Shh. Stop.
So all the questioning that the prosecution did has been recorded on a stream. The basic summary of it was they asked him if they were able to provide aid to me after they saw that I had been hit. He was the last one on scene. They found dirty money on him, and that was pretty much the basis of it. Other
Do you want me to
than
give you a quick synopsis of my response?
Yeah, go ahead, give me a quick synopsis
There you go.
of your response. And yeah.
Alright. I responded on scene. My vehicle became disabled as soon as I got on scene because of where their vehicles were positioned and where we were at. I exited my vehicle with my firearm drawn because I already heard automatic gunfire taking place. Upon posturing myself behind another police cruiser on scene, which I believe was Chief Repo Studios, I witnessed him get struck several times and he had collapsed to the ground. At that time, I had exchanged gunfire directly with the subject, and a sheriff's deputy had come up to me and assisted me with a long rifle in engaging gunfire with that subject. The subject was actively shooting at us, and at that time I proceeded to fire a suppressive amount of ammunition. That way we could position ourselves in a defensive posture to get to Chief Repo Studios, who was currently incapacitated. At that time, after a volley of gunfire had been exchanged between both parties, the subject had ceased firing, had taken a defensive position behind a corner wall, and that is when myself, a state trooper, and a sheriff's deputy had approached that corner wall and observed the subject in the courtroom here as the defense was in a kneeling position with his hands above his head. I had then taken that suspect into custody and searched that suspect, and upon searching him, I had found $7,942 in dirty money, and I had also found an automatic assault weapon on that individual. We had taken him into custody, medical care was provided, and we had transported him to the jail. Upon transferring him to the jail, myself and a sheriff's deputy were providing jail security. I observed the suspect leave his jail cell, and at that time became combative with officers. Warnings were issued, tasers were deployed. Subject was then re-handcuffed, placed into a jail cell, at what time he had also slipped his handcuffs, and Chief Repo Studios became involved, and we had re-secured the individual and left him in that jail cell upon proper jail security with myself and another sheriff's deputy. That's all.
Okay.
Your Honor, may
Now-
I begin questioning?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Good evening, Captain.
Hello.
good evening.
I'm sorry, I can't tell if I'm in your way. Am I good? Can you see?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Thank you. Appreciate the consideration.
Yes, no problem. Captain, first question is that at any point were you able to identify any individuals at the beginning of the narrative as provided by Chief Repo and the suspect involved with a armed robbery?
I am not able to directly identify an individual associated with the armed robbery other than what evidence is provided that I can conclude after the fact.
What is that evidence that you can conclude to?
$7,942 in dirty money from a suspect, the defense over there, that he had on his person shortly thereafter we had received a 911 call for an armed robbery. That suspect was located in the direct vicinity of that armed robbery with that dirty money.
Okay, thank you. But at any point, was that money directly related to the armed robbery? Was there any annotations that did the owner say that was his money? Did they relate anything? Were there anybody there is that money directly related to being owned by the liquor store, or at all?
There was
involved
no
with the liquor store
individual
robbery?
located at the liquor store to be able to RP that situation, so based off of the evidence at hand, I was only able to conclude that the $7,942 of dirty money came from that suspect who had just completed a robbery objective at the liquor store located at our response location.
So that is under an assumption, correct?
That is not under an assumption, that is based off of the facts at hand and what I was able to conclude based off of the evidence that I had found.
I mean, apples and oranges, but okay, thank you. Next question. Were you there to witness the vehicle flipping and landing on its roof?
I arrived on scene after the vehicle had already flipped and the suspect was already out and engaging rounds with Chief Repo Studios.
So at no point you knew who fired the first shots?
I'm not sure who fired the first round. When I arrived on scene, all I could hear was automatic gunfire. Based off
Objection,
of
Your
hearing
Honor.
automatic gunfire,
The person first shooting was already addressed in Chief Repo Studios' statement. He already stated that he had pulled up on behind the vehicle,
Honor,
at
this is a
which point
completely
the
different witness.
individual got out of the car and opened fired on him.
Your Honor, this is a completely different witness.
I was not the first officer on
Based
scene.
off of
I
body
do not
cam.
know who fired first.
Motion sustained under body cam footage and statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Captain, so you agree to the fact that you didn't see anything, and I'm not going to continue asking that, and I appreciate your answer with me.
I said motion sustained to.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not asking the question.
Can we strike that
thanking
statement?
Sit down.
Your Honor, I'd request that the statement that he made would be stricken from the record.
you. That's fine with me, Your Honor, if you want.
Thank you.
Motion sustained.
We can move on to the next question.
To that. When you first arrived on scene, can you paint the picture of what you actually were firing at?
I was firing at the individual who I just witnessed shoot, and who at that time I thought killed Chief Repo Studios, who then began directly shooting at me. Which is
Okay,
the
so now I'm
defendant.
confused, because you said you didn't know who fired the first shot, but now you're relating that to you witnessed him shoot your chief.
I don't
Which
know
is-
who fired the first round on scene. There were multiple rounds being exchanged between both parties when I arrived, and upon my arrival I saw both officer and suspect exchanging gunfire, whom then I witnessed Chief Repo Studios become struck by that suspect's gunfire, who then turned his attention towards me.
Thank you for the clarification. So at a certain point, the suspect had gone out of your view, correct? He had gone around the corner.
Correct.
At that time, had the suspect already sustained gunshot wounds? Do you know, remember?
I am not aware if he sustained gunshot wounds. It would be to the best of my knowledge that he did not sustain an incapacitating wound due to him still firing from around the corner in a defensive position.
When you arrived to the individual and he he was on his knees, what was the first actions after the individual was put in handcuffs?
He was searched.
He was searched. So no medical care was provided?
I cannot conclusively allow medical personnel on scene until I know that scene is safe and secure. He was searched for the safety of all individuals involved.
Are not all
Per
law
poli-
enforcement I'm going to ask questions, I don't mean to interrupt you, but are not all law enforcement officers BLS certified? Or CLS, I apologize. BLS.
Sit down.
All law enforcement officers are trained in first aid. Per policy, any individual placed in handcuffs must be secured and searched prior
I don't
to
want
any
that.
other aid or action being provided.
Okay. Thank you. From the scene of the accident, and specifically the vehicle, would you not assume that the accident was a pretty traumatic accident?
Oh
landing
God,
on
here we
top
go.
of its roof and smacking into concrete and stone, correct?
Traumatic accident? Yes. But I have seen multiple accidents and rollover accidents in my career where injuries were not present.
Okay.
Accidents are a variable. Injuries are a random occurrence.
Understandable, yeah. But I'm not going to get into how you handle your duties because every department is different. I'm not going to question. Out of character, that's because the way the policy is.
Next question.
Out of character, it's the same department.
No, I'm saying like, we'll go into that later. We've already taken this too much time.
Holy crap.
In the incident at the Vespucci PD, were you there to witness what had happened?
Yes.
Who was the individual that fired the taser?
Myself.
What was the suspect doing in which warranted the actions of firing the taser?
The suspect was non-cooperative in providing active resistance by not following commands of officers. The suspect had already become violent and combative on scene. We deployed a taser to ensure that the suspect was not further injured or that we were not further injured.
Okay. At what point after that did EMS medical services see my client after he was at Vespucci PD?
After the suspect was resecured in handcuffs, per policy, any taser deployment requires medical professionals to be able to remove the taser barbs and medically qualify the individual for arrest, transport, or jail.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time. Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, on to final statements.
Your Honor, I think the captain would like to come on the stand.
He's probably enjoying a chair to sit in.
Finish this up already.
Yeah, Captain,
The
you
chair
are.
comfortable, or do you want to
You're
come
free to
down?
come down.
You're free.
All right.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm almost finished my bottle of whiskey, so we need to finish this up so we can at least do a patrol before I'm fucked up.
Final statements. Time.
I'm in that same
I've-
boat.
I've been through like 5 fucking drinks.
I can finish a small little bottle of
Alright.
Final statements.
I will be fucked up beyond repair.
Let's just do
Final
final
statements. All right, quiet. All right. At this time, Your Honor, obviously with the video footage, the testimonies that we've heard, I would push for the charges that are there to stand and to be the max charges. We've heard that he had the dirty money, he had the weapons, he shot at the officers, he attempted to kill them. Obviously, he would have gone to that store, robbed the store, and run. Why would he not ran from that store if he hadn't just stolen it, or left the area if he had just gone in and committed a felony robbing a store and then taking police on a high pursuit and then trying to kill an officer? There has to be obviously a reason for it, and the reason, the information and the proof that we have, the evidence that we've shown, would prove or point to that he robbed the store. He tried to kill an officer. He fled from the area. He was, belligerent. He was non-compliant the whole entire way through. So again, we would push to have the maximum charge for the charges that are already listed.
Does the district attorney have anything further?
Seems like the end of that. Does the defense have a final statement?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Your Honor, based on the information that is provided tonight, I would like to negate any charges and drop the charges of armed robbery due to there is no actual evidence other than dirty money that cannot be related to the armed robbery at the liquor store. As for all the other charges, other than speeding, we would like to and reckless evasion. My client and I will agree to those terms. However, aggravated attempted murder, grand theft auto, which we've already decided is not grand theft auto, aggravated assault. All those charges to be dropped due to, and I will read a statement from the Trauma Survivors Network and the American Trauma Society in the regards to traumatic injuries. A trauma patient is someone who suffers a serious injury, life-threatening injury as a result of an event such as car accident, gunshot wound, or fall. In this case, my client has both. Traumatic injuries may affect many body parts, including the brain, the extremities, and internal organs. The severity of injuries can range from minor to life-threatening, as the officer stated, and trauma obviously affects the patient physically, but it has lasting effects to the patient, those close to the patient emotionally. Therefore, it is good to receive prompt and thorough care after suffering any type of severe and life-threatening injury. This is coming directly from the society that is provided from the federal program and traumatic injuries to individuals of traumatic car accidents, PTSD, military, all those agencies. I'd like to push on the notion of to drop the charges as self-defense, in the sense that my individual was in a traumatic injury, received significant brain damage, did not understand what was going on in the situation, began to fire on the officers in the misunderstanding and the thoughts that he was being under attack, and that at no time he had actually intended to fire on actual law enforcement officers, but again was in self-defense due to the fact that he had just received a traumatic injury, as well as once he had already after received traumatic wounds from gunshots, been in a traumatic accident, even then still stopped and continued to be placed in handcuffs. And again, a statement from the Trauma Survivors Network, even though that the patient could be treated, he was most likely treated for his gunshot wounds. It's discussed that everyone was treated for his permanent injuries. However, I don't think at any point that my suspect was ever treated for traumatic head injuries or anything that could affect his mental condition, and specifically stating from the Trauma Survivors Network, it has lasting effects. As the aggression during the Vespucci, whatever police department it was. Sorry, I've got too many things open.
It's in the narrative, black and white.
Thank you.
I have a question to this out of character. If he was already cleared by medical personnel, how would any of this even stand?
It wouldn't. Anyway,
Once again, out of
go ahead.
character, like,
Okay,
Let him finish.
Would you just shut up? God damn.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, he's talking to me, so we'll talk after that. But it's all good.
That's not
Go
fair.
ahead, keep going.
No, I'm taking the. Whatever. It doesn't even matter at this point. Coming from the traumatic injuries, I just like to state that the individual acted out of self-defense and not understanding the situation and having traumatic injuries from an accident, as well as receiving gunshot wounds, which is confirmed that the individual did receive gunshot wounds.
Your Honor, we would like to make a rebuttal on that. It clearly states in black and white in the report, in the narrative, that he was assessed for the injuries after the incident took place. There is no. I mean, yes, I get that. You know, he was supposed to receive attention. He received attention. He received attention after he had stopped firing his weapon, after the units had taken him into custody. Regardless of what any other thing says, he opened fired on an officer. He shot an officer. He attempted to kill a officer. But yet, we still gave him. We still gave him.
Hey. The judge said that the rebuttal will be dismissed.
Objection, Your Honor, in regards to your ruling. Rebuttals are permitted under the American Bar Association.
It is permitted, but it will still.
I was gonna say you can't reject a fucking rebuttal. That's not how court works.
Yeah, but the judge was talking. He had to be quiet.
To provide the burden of proof.
I don't know where you got your law degree, Judge, but that's not how the fucking court system works.
Out of character, real quick. The reason I disregarded it is because I do feel that it does have some out of character thing. I don't feel it would have been brought up if someone hadn't have spoken out of character and made that. That's why I'm disregarding it.
No, actually, it was.
Entirely.
I was gonna make that agreement entirely when you started talking about the whole incident.
And that's why it's out of character. You can't take anything out of character into consideration for this court hearing. That's why we say out of character.
Have to be accepted by
It's all good.
All right, calm down.
Shut up.
Hey, everybody, calm down. Your Honor, you have the floor.
Yeah, we're good. It's fine.
Your Honor, can I make my rebuttal?
Yeah, but
I'm going to smoke a cigarette.
Excuse the rebuttal because we know where it's going. It's already been stated and all that. Let's move forward. Your Honor, you have the floor.
There's one more thing I would like to add. Thank you very much. Your Honor, if I may. The reason for the wreck in the tunnel was due to him fleeing and eluding the police and from the store. He was evading capture from the officers. You don't have any objection.
You can't object to the rebuttal.
You guys just objected me.
It's a rebuttal. It's not an objection. They didn't.
Yeah, they just object.
Calm down. Calm down. They didn't.
They did it during.
They didn't
That didn't happen. Okay.
interrupt.
Okay. Gotcha.
You were done with your statement.
You're good. You're good. I thought because he was objecting, but down because I thought he pulled that one.
No.
I have 3 cigarettes left in this entire pack that I started smoking at the beginning of this court case.
I'm about to re-dip one of my dips, by the way.
ew.
Can I continue, Your Honor?
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh God. All right. So, him fleeing from the store, the money was found on the person that was running from the scene. He was leaving that area. He had the money on him when he was fleeing from the area of the store that the robbery took place in. He shot trying to flee officers and struck another officer. He was trying to evade capture from the incident that he had. He started from running from the area the robbery was.
Go ahead.
Went, crashed, rolled his car, flew off the cliff, and that is when he got his injury. It wasn't because of anything else. It was because he was running. Regardless of the incident, we would love to be, the officer would be glad to go in and actually, give him medical assistance, but you can't give somebody medical assistance that gets out of a car, starts shooting, takes out an officer, and you expect to have an officer walk up and just be like, cool, let's, make sure you're all right first before we, continue this gunfire. We asked the court to find we asked this court to find him guilty of armed robbery. He is guilty of attempted murder, reckless endangerment, as well as other charges that are found against him. Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
1 second, Your Honor.
Is anybody else aroused?
No, not at all.
This has been a fucking trip.
It's been a
Never mind, Your Honor. We can proceed. This is taking too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please give the verdict.
Moving on.
Yes, please.
The defendant, Frank Priest, is found innocent of armed robbery, guilty of aggravated battery, attempted murder. He is found guilty of speeding, reckless evasion, failure to yield to a stop sign, theft by receiving, aggravated assault, and reckless driving.
Oh, you were
Your Honor,
thinking of a
can I hear
section we don't even
can I hear
have.
them one more time?
He's guilty to all except robbery.
I'll take it. He's still going to prison for life.
But that's final verdict.
3 hours later, we're done.
Jesus
Oh,
fuck.
no.
We actually have another
Nothing
case.
else.
You got one more case, buddy. You got case 93.
Nope.
Max, get over here.
That waits.
Oh, fuck. No.
We'll do this another
You had a
time.
good, yeah.
Your Honor,
Different day.
the prosecution requests this is proposed.
The firefighters are mourning the death of their other one.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Oh my god. I thought it was never gonna end.
Of course not. Why is there a motorcycle
Dude,
in the middle of
almost
the
4
road?
fucking hours.
Yeah.
You can't deny a request to go to a higher
He
court.
just denied it because
No,
you asked for it in his.
the higher court
asked
does.
for it in his courtroom, therefore it's denied.
He
Get over it.
he can deny it, however, you can appeal it.
Yeah, you had to
Yeah.
file it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a whole separate different court system, is the Court of Appeals.
They got DVD.
DV'd all the cars.
God damn, now I gotta let Damien back on his PC.
What's up, Rogue? Y'all don't sentence, or y'all don't send Rogue to jail just yet. He's got to log off.
Yep. Oh, and it's raining. Beautiful.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Perfect.
Love Los Santos. It was beautiful when we were in there, but when we come out here, it starts raining.
We should stay in there to case 93.
Do you got a rain jacket in the car?
Yeah,
I don't know where
do.
mine is.
In the car. At the state.
Mama didn't raise
I hung mine up at
Rain never
reception.
killed anyone.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that's exactly what just happened.
I gotta be completely honest with everyone. I am so glad I chose judge instead of prosecutor and jury.
We need to go over the rules and regulations.
We need to have. So Kent, we need to do a actual standard procedure of court. This is, like if you want to have discovery, everybody submits all their evidence, and then you move into invoking the rule, then you move into opening statements, witnesses, and whatnot, and then we need to set ground rules on when and what you can object to and what you can't. So with it being your courtroom, I'm going to let you do that however you want to.
I would definitely like a little bit of help on that because, as I said,
I'll work with you on that,
people
Ken.
don't work. I definitely like help because, as I was saying before, I came into this fucking blind and it was a learning experience.
Oh, did you
Right.
put yours up in the reception too?
With us,
I keep it in my ass.
with us actually having a judge though too, if you have somebody that say we have to do an investigation and we find out that subject we have enough probable cause to sign a warrant on him, we will contact Kent. We will have to get his signature in order to get that warrant valid to make an arrest. Unless a warrant has Kent's signature, you cannot affect that arrest on that warrant.
Do you have Discord on your phone?
Yeah.
So
Rogue.
He's not here, and I have to wake him up at 3 in the fucking morning.
You have to wait until the next day.
I'm actually up at 3 in the morning all the time.
Rogue, you're good, man. You can go ahead and log off.
We can just do an affidavit of probable cause and arrest off of
I
that.
think he's still in the courtroom.
Yes.
Yeah, he's still in the courtroom.
Yeah, he
Went down
said
to smoke.
he's
been gone for like 20 minutes.
he just asked me if he was free.
Yeah, but no, as I said, it was a complete learning experience for me.
No, you're good.
It's all good.
That
We're
was
all,
a-
we did
that
it
was
was
one of the
good.
most
That was
fun- That was
amazing.
one of the most fun court proceedings we've ever had.
I just like how everybody.
Interrupted you a couple times.
I like how everybody just gets all hyped up and flustered and pissed off at each other, and then we're all friends.
I'm sitting there laughing, going, "Thank God I'm not the DA or the defense attorney." And I'm just sitting there laughing.
Yes, sir. Did a good job on the attacking the whole armed robbery portion of that case.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I told Cigarette at the get-go. I told Cigarette at the get-go, you're gonna lose the armed robbery.
Hey, I mean, throughout that whole court proceeding, I thought Goatman was a bitch.
I'm free.
Jeez.
Hey, Jordan, good job on your
And he has his car. Yep, he's got his car. Thank God.
No, that other car he stole was a stolen car, by the way. I'm glad you guys didn't bring that back.
No,
So
he stole a car.
the 13-year-old,
Good.
I know his
Well,
name.
I guess we know who's going to jail.
So anyway, warrant-wise, if Kent's not awake, we should just move with like an affidavit of probable cause.
Yes.
To effect that arrest.
Kent and I will sit down and make
How
sure
does that
that
work?
the judge's SOP and everything is squared away. We are working on a templated PDF document that will be available to officers. You'll fill out that PDF. You'll send an email with it to a specified email address. Once you send that email, and actually I'll have a button that'll send it for you. Once it sends, that will go to the court's office, and from there it'll be up to Kent to sign it, or Kent and I will figure that out. If he's away, maybe I'll sign it, or we'll figure it out. But yes, there will be an actual affidavit with like requests and everything, so you will have to fill out like the actual affidavit form from like the legit one from the United States courts.
All I have to say is I still have my GI Bill, and I'm seriously debating on whether I should go get my degree as a lawyer.
Law?
Or pass
Yeah,
the
you
bar.
probably shouldn't.
Do it.
Oh Christ.
You argue very well, but if I heard objection one more time, I was going to tase you.
Objection.
I object the object.
Okay, I got a question. I got a question. How do I get innocent for killing over like 5 cops?
You have to serve your time.
Let's not do it.
I guess I'm not, cause I'm innocent.
No, you're not innocent. You didn't get off of that. We didn't send you. We didn't send you to jail because you said that you had to log off. At this point, you would. Yeah. You would.
It's still in your criminal history.
Yeah, 25 minutes broken down, or no, 25 years broken down into minutes, or into months.
I got you the,
So,
I got you the armed robbery.
so
off
25 times 12, that's how many minutes you'd be in there. And you
so
can't.
You got off of the attempt to
300
murder and
minutes.
the armed robbery.
Right. So
300
what you could
Still
do,
there.
what you could do is create another character, and this homeboy is in jail. So you can't use Frank Priest ever again because he's in jail until he gets paroled.
So I can't use Frank Priest right now.
No.
No, he's in prison. You have
He's
to
in
wait
prison.
He's in prison.
No, I'm gonna be honest. With as many felonies as you got pegged for, you're in prison for a while.
A hot minute without the chance of parole, and you don't get time served.
Nope, 5 hours of game time.
I'll just go ahead and kill Frank Priest.
I mean, that's what I did. I got. Yeah,
I could do this.
Apparently, Thickfish is online and on duty.
He's on duty.
So are we doing a patrol or are we going to bed?
We can.
Staying up.
I'm not going to be on for very much longer, but we can.
Yeah, I won't be able to
Anyone
go
wanna
on
mess with
the
this
patrol.
guy?
I gotta go back to my fucking house because, as I said, I'm at Damon's house, and do you guys have a fucking idea what it's like to be like damn near sitting on the floor in a fucking race car chair that's made for my fucking
You know what it's
the
like
entire fucking time.
sitting.
Is it a Lightning McQueen chair? Please tell me it's a Lightning McQueen chair.
It's so close to it, it's blue and black.
I'm right with you because I don't have a car.
All right. I know things got heated in there, but try not to tell Jordan to shut up. He is a captain. Well.
No, yeah, I wasn't like the whole like. Yeah, I wasn't like being. It was out of character, but in character, I guess. I don't know. I was like, it's not that big a deal.
We were all getting flustered in there. I think we were all getting frustrated because we had been in there for so long.
Jesus Christ, that's the longest court session we've had.
No, I think we had one that lasted just about the same, but we heard like we heard like 16 different cases.
Wow.
Yeah, we went through a whole court docket at one point, and it was like 25 cases or something like that. Some couldn't have been heard because the officers weren't there, so we moved it to a continuance. But the majority of them, yeah, we heard all of them. Even argued some of them, and it lasted for, I'd say, like at least, I don't know, 4-5 hours.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. 301 dispatch, 1041, 10-8.
10-420, 1041, 10-8, 2345.
304, I'll be at service 10-8.
10-420, 1041, 10-8, 2345. Unit dispatch will be 1041, 10-8, radar's code 4.
301 200. Can you go into FivePD and delete my department or my application to Paleto Bay?
10-4, standby.
What's the, never mind, disregard. Through dispatch.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and mark me 10-8.
10-4, showing you 10-8, 04-47.
Dispatch units be advised, restarting FivePD. One Trigun, be advised, bank robbery, Fleeka Bank.
Go for it.
301 en route.
308
en route. 308's showing you en route.
802 San Andreas, show myself responding to that response as well as code 40 units.
10-4, 2347.
All units, there's a vehicle parked out front.
304 is arriving.
308's just arriving as well.
200 on scene.
I got smoke canisters out front.
Smoke canisters, possibly toxic gas is being thrown out front. Other responding units, if you could respond from the, I believe, the eastern side of the bank.
200, 301, I'm already on the east side.
Hey, move your vehicle up.
Hey.
308. 308, back up.
He popped the smoke out. It just came out.
Are you covered?
Yeah. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Get there 2 more out.
All right, stop right there.
What transition you guys left?
We got eyes on the door, so there's no need to force anything.
Hey, Tim, just don't shift right.
Yeah, I got you.
I've got no eyes at all, guys. I don't see shit.
You're good. You're good. There's only one entrance.
I'm taking shots.
Back up
Shots
here
fired,
then.
shots
Back
fired.
up here. Back up here.
Am I good here, or do I need to move?
No, you're good.
Now
you're
you're
good.
in my line of fire if you stand up.
I'll transition your rear.
Shit.
Shit.
You good?
We're good.
Good.
200, just gotta be advised. Grenade,
Straight.
maybe?
Hey, Tom, you have your marksman?
Yeah.
Go post up somewhere along the park. See if you can get a shot or an angle in. .308. If you need the boat or the boat, if you need the door opened, let us know. We'll try to breach it and open it up for you.
10-4, I think I'll be alright. I'm just gonna transition, but I'm gonna keep the assault rifle just for suppressive sake.
10-4. Your call.
I've got good eyes, but I don't see him. I think he's in the back right, just because I see smoke
Let me
billowing
add
up
some
over
shit
there, and
to
that's
my
the only
rifle.
place you could get it thrown. Hey, officer that just fired, do you have eyes on him?
Negative.
Trying to get the door open for you. I don't see anything to the right as of right now. I see a lot of smoke though in that area.
Yeah, we're the closest ones.
Be advised, there looks like a sign with a person in. Don't mistake that as the individual.
10-4.
I wish I could put Gucci shit on my AR.
You can. Weapon loadout. Under the tilde
Which
menu.
weapon loadout is that?
You equip the rifle, and then you go to player options and then weapon options.
.308 to 301.
Send it.
Could we have a officer go around to the backside, come up that alley, and just be ready there?
844 is
Moving.
right there.
844. You said you're moving.
Yep, I'm moving in there.
802 units, there's no back exit to that bank.
Now we're gonna have him positioned in between the door and you in that alleyway, just in case. 844. Just be advised you're gonna be in crossfire if he comes out and runs that way.
200, 301. Do we want to get a MRAP? Well, I got eyes. He was on the right-hand side of the door when I saw him.
We're gonna try to implement a flashbang. Tom, go ahead and regroup with us so you can stack.
10-4.
All right, move around the car.
I'm on your 6.
All right, pop the right door so it opens.
Target right.
Oh shit! Bad.
Oh shit!
Bad grenade.
Officer down. Officer down.
You're good. You're good. Breach! Breach!
Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up!
Oh shit! That's fine. Subject down. Subject down. Officers down.
Senators, I got 3 officers down. I have 1 subject down. Go ahead and roll EMS.
Copy. EMS has been notified.
44 and 3 other unit. Let's get these guys out of here.
Priest, is that you?
I got body blocked so hard. I
Yeah.
couldn't get in there.
He had a goddamn grenade.
It's gonna be okay. We'll get you all out of here.
I got you. Don't worry.
Oh my god. Troopers are in such good shape.
Right? Damn.
Oh yeah.
So you should talk to us earlier, Jordan.
Full sprint with a 220-pound man on you. Sunbathe too.
We're fucking heroes, though.
You're not getting a medal for this.
Oh, come on.
Officer, how you doing? Can you hear me? What'd you go
I
do?
can't hear shit. A fucking IED just went off in my face.
My ears are ringing.
All I hear is sirens.
My PTSD is kicking in.
Oh, you'll be alright.
My time in Iraq with Tim and Armor 3 is coming back to me.
Yeah, you've practically been there.
802 San Andreas. I've got no pulse on that subject. Timestamp for the law.
10-4.
There's no medical, so y'all can go ahead and RP this one out.
That was really smooth up until the point that I just couldn't get in there because of the physical bodies.
That we all blew up? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because the FB stopped.
If you flash rack it, it will rack in the car.
I did it.
See, just like this, you type out /rack. Like that.
Yeah, it says I did it. It's just still on my back.
Did anyone search the subject?
He was pronounced dead by EMS.
Did we take the money off of him?
Oh, real quick.
Alright guys, my textures are failing. That's where I'm going to call this stream. I hope y'all enjoyed. Definitely like, subscribe, and follow for other streams to come. Y'all take it easy. Be safe. And we will see y'all on the next stream. See y'all.